And hello, YouTube. It's late Saturday night. It's technically Sunday morning. 2:27 a.m. Sunday, July 31st. So less than 10 hours before Priscilla's rent, portion of the rent that she paid at my apartment runs out. Still haven't really decided what I'm going to do with that. Wait. I'm not waiting. Fuck this guy. I had a good time at Wander Inn, all things considered, but yeah, I'm not in a really good place emotionally or mentally. Kind of hoping I'd meet somebody and hook up, but yeah, that's not very likely for me at the Wander Inn. So, didn't really eat much today. When I went to Carl's Jr., I got I showed the thing where it showed like the 3 double burgers starting at. It didn't say what the specific prices are, but it says starting at. It's $2.99. The California burger is still $2.99. That's still a pretty decent little burger, but it is a little burger. It's not a lot. It filled me up for the moment, but yeah, I was hungry later. And I was super thirsty because it was hot outside. And so I ordered a small drink because that's the least expensive drink that I could get there. Small drink at Carl's Jr. now, $2.59. $2.59 fucking cents for a small drink. I'm ready to start rolling back prices like Michael Douglas in Falling Down. Can of soda, 50 cents. About where I am with that. For what it's worth, the gal that was working at the counter, who was awfully cute, I might add. After I'd done my order, and then she was taking somebody else's order, I was like, could I get my drink cup? I ordered a small, which I'm assuming is probably like a 12 ounce or a 16 ounce. I hate the fact that places like that, like every place, fast food places, gas stations, what have you, they have a small, medium, or large, or a small, medium, large, and an extra large, or whatever. How about you be honest about what your sizes are? And instead of labeling them small, medium, and large, which are just these arbitrary things that mean nothing, I would honestly like to see legislation that forces them to say what the size is. I mean, imagine if gas stations were able to get with that. Like, instead of saying how much it is per gallon, just saying how much it is per unit. How big's the unit? I don't know. You want a small, medium, or a large unit? Like, it's $3 for a small unit, and $3.50 for a medium unit, and $3.80 for a large unit. You should get the large units. It's a better deal. Yeah, how much per gallon? Oh, I'm going to tell you how many gallons a unit is. You got to figure that out for yourself. I mean, it sounds absurd, but it's functionally the same bullshit that's being done by restaurants that just post small, medium, and large for the drink sizes. I mean, okay, wow, $2.59, like that's a lot for a fucking soda. Like, how big is that soda? At least the soda fountain inside Carl's Jr. is working, so I could have got free refills if I wanted to, which is better than the last Jack in the Box one I went to, which I did a video about that. I'll try to remember to link that in the description, because holy shit, my last trip to Jack in the Box was awful. Speaking of disappointments and fast food drinks, Thursday afternoon, when I went over to I walked to Bullock's. Shot that video on my iPhone. it does shoot better video than this Obama phone does. But it's a lot bigger hassle to get it moved onto YouTube. And honestly, I haven't tried that. I don't think I've really tried shooting nighttime video on the 7 Plus. It might actually do better than my 6S Plus did, but my 6S Plus used to always be just absolutely awful with shooting videos when I'm walking at night. So yeah, it's got image stabilization, but the blurry, out of focus lights in the distance, like, doesn't matter whether they're shaking or whether they're stable if you really can't see what the hell they are. I mean, I'm looking at my viewfinder now on this Obama phone, and I'm sure there's going to be some shakiness to this because, there's no image stabilization on this phone, and even if there was, this thing is so gutless with its processing power, it would probably be worthless anyway. And if I had some decent software and I cared, I could probably do that, as a post-production thing. I mean, shit that used to be an option with YouTube. I don't know if it was ever an option with mobile YouTube, but I know, like, when I had my old Dan the Taxi Man YouTube channel, every now and then I would upload stuff on it, and if it seemed shaky, and granted, I didn't do that on the mobile app like I do with this, but I did that from my desktop PC. But yeah, one of the options was image stabilization, and it seemed to work pretty good. And on that note, YouTube keeps suggesting that I download a certain app called YouTube Creator or something like that for Android. And maybe those options are there, and maybe I should consider it. But the bottom line is, and I've said this a million times, I'm not trying to show what a great cinematographer I am, because I'm fucking awful. That's obvious. This is basically just it's just basically my digital diary I'm sharing with the world. It's like EdTV without the production crew. And the reason I started sharing, if you go back to like Dan Vlog number 1, there is a number 1, and the first few, I started sharing this because at the time I was having some really serious mental health issues, and I've been very open about my mental health on this channel. I've been hospitalized several times. I used to receive federal disability for depending on whose diagnosis you look at, I've been given several different diagnoses, but the ones that most constantly appear are bipolar axis 2, whatever the fuck that means, and schizoaffective disorder. Now, I've had a couple doctors that have said that I'm straight out showing symptoms of schizophrenia, but usually it's listed as schizoaffective disorder. And the more I read about both, the more I'm confused, like, what the fucking difference is. I see and hear things that aren't there depending on my mental state. It's kind of the same fucking shit. I'm reasonably... What the hell? Oh, look at this. On a phone junction box that's just wide open right here. Part of me wants to play with this, and part of me is thinking I should just walk away. I think I'm gonna walk away. Wow, utility companies should do something about that. That's fucking ridiculous. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, part of me, shut up, dog. I will bite you, dog. Part of me wishes I had a lighter and an aerosol can. Oh, you shouldn't vandalize a public utility like that. You motherfuckers should have the fucking boxes locked. Like, seriously, why is that box just wide open like that? I'm not going to vandalize it, but I expect somebody probably will. That's just the way society is these days. Still trying to figure out what the hell's going in here. This is a hell of a nice entrance to something that doesn't appear to actually be getting built. don't even know why I'm trying to video it this late at night, because, I mean, I'm looking at my viewfinder and I can't see shit. Looking out with my eyes, not a lot better, not gonna lie. But I see palm trees and I see curbs, and I see a pretty fancy fence and gate, and then chain link over the entrance. Fire department. Ooh, ouch! I just so blind. I just kicked something. I kicked like a 2x4 or something with my foot. Ow, that hurt. I'm wearing flip-flops. I should hit my toe. Fire department access. JB Builders, 1000 North 44th Street. Tim Anderson, 480-544-8110. Hey, can somebody call Tim Anderson and ask him what's going on with this project? And then let me know what he says in the comments. That would be great, because I'm really curious. Because, like, this entrance has been built for a while, and it's pretty impressive, but there doesn't just seem to be jack shit going on in construction outside that gate. And then when I see this, I just think of how that frontage road right there on 40th Street, south of Bellevue. I think that's Bellevue. I'm pretty sure that's Bellevue. Oh, no, my bad. Portland. That's Portland Street. So south of Portland. Bellevue is 2 more blocks. It's all coming back to me now. But yeah, south of Portland, that right there, that frontage road, it used to go south here, but it didn't really go anywhere. It went about 3/4 of the way to the freeway here, and then it had like a cul-de-sac ending, and it was like all overgrown with weeds. So, you know, no great loss, whatever. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck's getting built here. It's got an address on a sign here, 1000 North 44th Street, but yeah. Now, meanwhile, the construction project across the street, and probably it's so dark you're not seeing that either, there's a giant metal frame building going up. I'm seeing 2 stories right now, and it's just freaking huge. So, I mean, it's good to see some infill development. Those places have been vacant for a long, long time. Gosh, and I look at that stretch of Portland, and I'm reminded of this absolutely insane one-night stand I had with this chick that was hot as fuck, by the way. And it's crazy. It's like, you know, you got to hook up with a chick. You got to have a lot of money and game and blah, blah, blah. I ain't got none of that. I've never had none of that. Maybe some game, but not most of the time. Most of the time, I'm just nervous and weird. But, I don't remember how I hooked up with that chick. And this is back in, like, I want to say 1991? Like late 91? Like when I first moved to Phoenix, maybe early 92. I don't exactly remember how it ended up like that. I'm sure I met her at my place. I used to have this place up at like 33rd and Sweetwater, which I was 21, so it pretty much turned into a complete party pad. I looked up at this chick. She was hot as fuck. She was wearing a trench coat, and at one point she eagerly showed me that there wasn't much of anything under the trench coat. I'm like, oh, that's lovely. And at some point I left that part of Phoenix. I ended up in one of those townhouses off Portland over there. 40th Street, which is funny because, like, I had no connection to this neighborhood. Like, I live close to this neighborhood now, but back then I had, like, no connection to all this neighborhood. I ended up over there with her in this place, basically banged the shit out of her all night, and that was pretty amazing. I don't think I ever knew her name. I don't recall her ever telling me her name. I just remember that happening, and then I don't even remember how I got back to North Phoenix. I don't. But what I do remember was roughly a couple weeks later, after a Dan Fogelberg concert about a mile from here at Celebrity Theater. I'm on 40th Street. Celebrity Theater is on 32nd Street, roughly a mile west of here. Oh, wow, and look at that, because there's some undeveloped land just right here to the west, and that's kind of neat. I never really noticed from here when you get in the right spot and the trees aren't in the way. It's a pretty awesome view of downtown Phoenix and the downtown skyline, just a few miles away, directly west. Anyway, yeah, so I went to this Dan Fogelberg concert, which was amazing. I've been a huge Dan Fogelberg fan since I was a kid, and at that point I was pretty young. I was only 21, so I was pretty young to be at that show. It was mostly older people that were there, and I went by myself because nobody that I was friends with was in any shape, way, or form interested in going to see Dan Fogelberg. And me, there was no way I was going to not see Dan Fogelberg. And I don't remember exactly how I got there. I probably took the bus. I didn't have a car. Story of my life. I've had way too much of my life has been spent without a car. It's really shitty that there's so many different government programs available to help the poor and the mentally ill, but none of them provide you with a car, which is arguably essential to life in the United States, or at the very least, life in Phoenix, Arizona. Anyway, it's frustrating because, as I said when I was riding the borderline useless streetcar in Tempe today, or yesterday, depending on your perspective, that the amount of fucking money that was spent on that freaking boondoggle, which has arguably made traffic worse in central Tempe and goes painfully slow and hardly goes anywhere. Valley Metro's proud of it though, and so is Tempe. I have no idea why. The amount of tax dollars that was spent on that, I'm absolutely positive that a brand new Toyota Prius could have been bought for everybody living below the poverty line in Tempe, Arizona that doesn't have a functioning car. And I'm saying Tempe, Arizona because that was specifically a Tempe project. But I've heard several times mentioned on KTAR that with the amount of money that was spent on the Phoenix Light Rail, which has a decent amount of ridership, but for the most part, I think the statistics have been, generally speaking, that the Phoenix Valley Metro Light Rail is used by less than 2% of the population of the valley. So it's not like it's something that's used by everybody. It's really not. It's used by less than 2% of the population. In other words, less people use the Valley Metro Light Rail than use McDonald's drive-thrus. Yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it. And with the amount of money that was spent on it, they could have bought every single adult in Maricopa County a brand new Toyota Prius. And would that help with traffic? Of course, no, it wouldn't. But I tell you, having my own Toyota Prius would be a lot more reliable than riding the goddamn train that a day and a half ago left me stranded, literally left me stranded in the heat at the corner of Central and Camelback. So, don't get me wrong, I love public transportation. I'm a huge advocate for public transportation, but the public transportation we have here, it's largely awful. It's completely unreliable. And for the most part, it's huge amounts of money being spent on just bullshit. I mean, City of Tempe streetcar, it goes nowhere. It's bullshit. It doesn't do anything or provide any service that wasn't already being done better by the Tempe Orbit buses. And as you could see in my video from today, the Tempe Orbit buses are still running. I mean, I could maybe see it justified a little bit if after the building of the streetcar, if the Orbit buses didn't still run in the same area. Like if the Orbit buses all terminated at, say, Dorsey and, if they all terminated, say, at Dorsey and Apache, at the place where there's a light rail station and a streetcar station. And then you got from there and you transferred one to the other. But no, every place the streetcar is running, there's still the Orbit buses running, there's still the local Valley Metro buses running, and you've got Phoenix Light Rail just more or less paralleling the damn thing, walking distance away. Complete waste of fucking tax dollars. And what would have been way more useful is additional local local bus routes and maybe more money for the drivers so there's not a driver shortage and people actually want to do that job. And I don't know, maybe some money for additional police to patrol the bus stops and make it so you can sit at a bus stop without being harassed by a homeless person or having to smell somebody smoking fentanyl while you wait for the bus. That would be transit money well spent. But yeah, that streetcar, in my opinion, just massive waste of tax dollars. And the South Phoenix light rail line that's going in right now, same thing. Same thing. It's going to absolutely just basically drive all of the poor people that live in South Phoenix, because South Phoenix was a neighborhood they could afford to live and do business in. It's going to drive all those people out. And maybe it's going to gentrify it and bring a bunch of white, rich, young people there. But I think more likely than not, it's just going to destroy South Phoenix. Because the current state of South Phoenix and Valley Metro Light Rail is destroyed. Like, seriously, take a drive down Central Avenue and notice how many businesses have shut down since that light rail construction started. And notice that affordable apartment complexes and affordable places to live, like trailer parks and stuff, are all disappearing. And where are those people going? Beats the shit out of me. I think they're the people that are living alongside the canal because they're fucking homeless and they're intense. They're all intense. And the situation, it's pretty intense. Yeah, punny guy. Anyway, I'm walking a Super Burrito, soon to be called like Mesquite Mex or some shit like that. Kind of surprised to see that they got a location on Mill Avenue, and maybe I should have went there today. But I was carrying a bag full of recycling that largely looked like garbage, and that's the sort of thing that a lot of businesses don't want you bringing into their business. In fact, I was surprised when I went to Candy Attic. The guy didn't give me any shit about it, but a great conversation with the guy running Candy Attic, and I was excited to see Candy Attic open again. And for all the stupid shit, I bought some stuff for Priscilla. Like, why am I still buying stuff for that bitch? I don't know, because I see stuff, because I've been with her for 12 years, and I see stuff that I think that she would really like, and I'm like, I gotta get that for Priscilla. Because there's still that part of my brain that just wants to do that for her, for no good reason. No good reason. It's not like it's being reciprocated. But they had some kind of obscure gourmet brand of ginger beer, so I bought her a bottle of it. I don't even know what it was. Half the stuff I didn't see prices on it, but I was very aware that the things I did see prices on were pretty high priced. And I'm just like, you know what? Candy Attic's reopened, and I just want to support the store. This is awesome. But I didn't buy much, and my total was just shy of $20. Bought a bottle of ginger beer for Priscilla. Bought 2 packages of Kit Kat, imported Kit Kats, probably from Asia. Because here in the United States, you got one kind of Kit Kat. It's a chocolate thing with cookie wafers in it. But in Asia, Kit Kat is this huge thing. And I think the brand is owned by a different company in Asia. And in Asia, they have all these different flavors of Kit Kat. They did have the little green tea ones, which are amazing. I didn't buy any of those because it really wasn't that long ago that Priscilla bought a bag of those, I'm assuming at Mekong Market, and she gave me a few of them, which was nice. I love the green tea Kit Kats, but I have found you can usually find those in Asian markets. I'm not sure what flavor I bought. Like, they were full-size Kit Kat bars, but from the labeling, clearly from somewhere in Asia. And I forget what flavor it was, but it's a flavor I've never seen before, and it sounded absolutely delicious. So I got one for me, and I got one for Priscilla. Got myself a Jones soda. They had the Jones soda watermelon, and they had it in a cooler, so it was cold. And God knows what I paid for it. It was probably a $4 soda, but whatever, in a 12-ounce bottle, but whatever. I was really thirsty, and I was just excited that they had that and kind of craving it. And let's see, I got a ice cube chocolate. It's called Ice Cubes, a little chocolate candy, little tiny chocolate candy. Didn't see the price on those. God knows what I paid for it, but I don't think I've had one of those in probably over 20 years. And I remember really, really liking those, and I absolutely savored every little bit of it. And got a package of Wacky Wafers. Again, didn't see the price on those. But I haven't seen Wacky Wafers candies in probably over 25, maybe 30 years. And I know I love those as a kid, so I grabbed them. And I think that's all I got. The soda, the Jones soda, the ginger beer, the 2 Kit Kats, wacky wafers, and ice cubes. Yeah, I think so. That's all I got. My total was just shy of $20. It's not a lot for $20, but hey, you know, in Biden's economy, inflation is ridiculous, and then they are in a very, very high rent district, and somehow they reopened that candy store, which has been a staple of Mill Avenue for a long time, but it has been closed for nearly 2 years. I had to throw them some support. And I absolutely enjoyed like the conversation I had with the guy that was there. I don't know if he's a proprietor or an employee. Really don't know. Didn't ask. But I had a great conversation with the guy. And I'd also like to throw in that the whole time I was there, they had a really good sound system playing Morrissey. Like, you know, you got a good sound system, you're playing Morrissey, I'm going to hang out as long as I can because yeah, that's awesome. I can't even really enjoy Morrissey at home because of how much Priscilla has trashed my place. Like, I still got 2 good sound systems in there, but it's just such a fucking mess. It's struggled to get my goddamn Morrissey. I mean, I guess I could always, you know, enjoy it streaming it on one of my cell phones through my good headphones, but I'm just not such a fan of streaming. And I never seem to have enough freaking data for that anyway. Because I use all my data uploading these stupid vlog videos. Anyway, yeah, so Priscilla, she's gone. She's in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know when she's coming back. I don't know when she left. I don't know where she's staying when she's there, what she's doing when she's there. I do know she's probably going to her uncle's funeral, and I don't know if I mentioned that her uncle died in any of these vlogs, but he did. But, you know, all she ever had to say about this particular uncle for the last, you know, decade plus that we've been dating has been very, very negative. Like I met her grandmother, and I got kind of close to her grandmother, and her grandmother had Alzheimer's, but she always seemed to remember me, which is interesting. And I did go there for her grandmother's funeral, and I think I was the only white guy there. But you know what? Whatever extended black family members had a problem with that. I called that woman grandma. I called that woman grandma for damn near a decade, and she loved it. So whatever. Yeah. But my understanding was that her aunt, Priscilla's aunt, that her grandmother had been living with for the last couple of years, prior to that, she had been staying with that particular uncle, the one that just died, and that uncle was horribly abusing her and neglecting her care and basically taking all of her Social Security money and whatever benefits and money she got and pocketing it while not taking care of her. And when she finally got out of there, Grandma had an issue with her eye due to Uncle not taking care of her. So suddenly Priscilla's all concerned about this uncle? Really? We are talking about the same uncle that damn near killed your grandma, right? Didn't take care of your grandma, kept your grandma locked up in a house and didn't take care of her. That uncle. Oh. All right, we got another asshole with a loud car. But yeah, suddenly you're so concerned about this uncle that you got to go to his funeral and see him off. Okay, good luck with that. And the kicker was that wasn't even what this trip was. Wow, look at all the cars in this drive-thru. Damn. Initially, that wasn't even what that trip was about. She was going to see her dad on his birthday. And it's my understanding that she can't even see her dad on his birthdays. Like, she was telling me about a week ago that there's another COVID outbreak in the assisted living place that he lives. Basically a rest home, which is awful. Been there several times. They do not take good care of that man. And there's not a whole lot he can do for himself because he's like basically 3/4 paralyzed since he had a stroke. He's in a wheelchair and he can barely maneuver the damn motorized wheelchair. So that's going to be the new building when they get it built, by the way. Whatever the new name is going to be for Speedy Tacos. I don't know. I just love this little dumpy place that it's in. And you can see from the amount of people in the drive-thru, this place is fucking popular. It's the best one of the best burrito places in town. What's up, little dog? People love showing off their loud-ass cars. God, I hate the noise pollution. Yeah, So yeah, she was telling me that she won't even be allowed to spend any time in person with her grandfather, that apparently he's a prisoner in this place that he pays a small fortune to live in, and he's not allowed to leave. He's not allowed to have any visitors in person, and that she might be able to visit him like through glass Like, wait, like you mean like through glass, like as if he's in jail? He's paying for that service? Fuck that. Mesquite Street Mex. That's what it's going to be called. Street Mex coming soon. And that's the new building that's going up. But there's a sign in front of Speedy Street Tacos just clarifying that that is going to be their new identity or whatever. And apparently Speedy Street Mex and or Speedy Street Tacos and Mesquite Street Mex are the same thing. And you know, as long as their food doesn't change, and as long as they're still 24 hours, I think I'm gonna be cool with it. But I don't know. I'm just seeing something that looks like a suburban drive-through going in here, and for years I've been coming to this little fucking shack over here that has a drive-through wrapped around the building with cars and has a patio. It doesn't even have an indoor dining. It has a patio that's absolutely packed right now as people come here in the middle of the night because this place is amazing and has delicious food for good prices. And prior to Speedy Street Tacos being here, that little shack that they're in, for a while it was a hot dog place that didn't do well, and most of the time I've lived in Phoenix, I've been a vacant building that was periodically getting vandalized. So I don't know. I mean, congrats on them for some new digs, but I don't know. To me, it's the end of an era. Seeing this little burrito shack and taco shack, it's gonna be gone. It's just not gonna be the same to me. The dog is barking at me. Oh wow, there's a new sign at Gateway Community College that's in. Oh, it's not pink. That's just the reflection of the red lights. I thought it was, they got an obnoxious new pink sign. Whoa, it just turned green. No, it's reflecting the ambient light from the stoplights. All right, I'm feeling like a moron right now. I should wrap this up. My God, I've been talking for 30 minutes and not really making any sense whatsoever.
Wait.
You have to excuse me. I've had 2.5 pitchers of beer. 2 pitchers that I bought, probably a half pitcher that I drank from other people's beers. Yeah, I had this awkward moment where I filled my drink cup from somebody else's pitcher, and as soon as I did it, I looked at him, I'm like, I am so sorry. My pitcher is over there on that other table, and I will happily fill your beer. And I just felt like the biggest asshole, and the guy was like, no, it's cool, you're fine. And then when I tried to fill his beer, like he filled it from his pitcher before I could fill it with beer from my pitcher. And he's like, no, really, you're fine. It's like, I feel like a huge asshole. I don't even know you. And I walked up and I just fucking filled my beer with your pitcher. He's like, these cups are small. And they are. Like most places where you get a pitcher of beer, they give you pint glasses. The glasses that they give you with your pitcher of beer at the Wander Inn are just ridiculously tiny. But I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I feel like a massive asshole. Like, don't worry about it. But yeah, I tried to fill his beer with my pitcher and he wouldn't let me, but he insisted on filling mine again. So I don't know, about 2.5 pitchers of beer. I'm not like shithouse wasted like I was last night, but I'm feeling good. Yeah. Anyway. Damn, it's so busy over there. I kind of like this place better when it's dead. Not that it's ever like dead, but this is ridiculous. But fuck it, I walked all the way here. I may as well go over there and get myself a fucking burrito. I feel like there was some stuff I was discussing that I wanted to come to some conclusions on, but right now my warped, messed up brain isn't really finishing anything as I'm wandering through Gateway Community College parking lot talking to myself. Still on the fence of what I'm going to do about Priscilla, but I feel like I need to stand firm to my promise of changing the locks on the 1st. I am scheduled to work tomorrow afternoon, well, tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. at Amazon. As far as I know, I'm still currently suspended as a forklift driver, and I expect I still will be when I get there, which means that I'm going to either be the pallet guy or a water spider or a line loader. And the thought of being the pallet guy without being the guy that loads them into the forklift is not appealing whatsoever. It's absolutely not. I don't know. I thought I had more vacation time accrued than I have, because I haven't really used much of it. But I checked, and I've got like 14 hours of vacation time, so less than a shift and a half. But I could take Sunday off, and it'd be paid time and be vacation time. I could do that, and I'm considering it. Haven't made a decision on it yet, but I mean, whatever is going to happen with the resolution of my little near miss incident on the forklift, I'm probably not going to hear about it if I'm not there. So I definitely need to actually go back there. But I am really frustrated with how little I make there, and how hard I work, and how much more I hear other warehouses are paying. And I finally got my 6-month bonus, so I'm thinking it's time to just start putting in other applications at other places that aren't so goddamn far away from home. And part of me is like, maybe I should stick with Amazon. For the most part, Amazon has been pretty good to me. Maybe I should try to put in for a transfer to the place over there on 40th Street and Broadway. Although, from my experience of trying to get there by, trying to get to Rob's shop by bus, even though that's significantly closer, as bus commutes go, it's not a whole lot better. In fact, it's kind of arguably worse, because I'm doing the 44, which is awful, to the 32, which is also awful, as opposed to doing the I-10 Rapid, which is actually quite enjoyable, and the light rail, which for the most part, except for weird things like, the other day when I got kicked off at Central and Camelback, but for the most part, and in the time period where they had it restricted downtown and the schedules all went to hell, but for the most part, the light rail's pretty decent, and it's been pretty consistent and decent, between downtown Phoenix and 44th Street. And that ride home in the morning from GYR3, the timing is almost always awesome from the light rail to the 44 North. I mean, I'm pretty much always, I catch that rapid bus at 5:58, and I get home at about 5 minutes to 7, and that's a pretty decent bus commute for that distance. And I question is as to whether or not it'd be any better trying to go home from 40th Street and Broadway, even though 40th Street and Broadway is so much closer. Although once I get my car, the commute to 40th Street and Broadway will be significantly better than the commute to GYR3. That's for certain. Although I really do like the Sunday thing when I have my car of, going over for Sunday karaoke at Osbar and then doing, I-17 to I-10. I was really enjoying that as a Sunday routine, and it sucks that I can't do it this week because I saw the host when I was there Friday night. The Sunday host was just there hanging out and drinking, and I was chatting with him, and they're doing some kind of special event this Sunday, and I'm like, yeah, if I don't have my car, I probably can't go. And I told him that's why I wasn't there last week. I don't have my car. It's like, yeah, when I got my car, I just, it takes me about 20 minutes to drive over here, and I have a good time, and there's a lot, I just keep in mind that I can't have much to drink. I have a good time, and then got a 15-minute drive all freeway from here to work. So, yeah, when I don't have that, I'm looking at about 3 hours of fucking bus nightmare just to get to work from home. So coming here is not even an option. It's like, and I think people that don't actually use public transportation just don't realize how fucking bad public transportation is here, and most people aren't even willing to try it. Like my friend Mason, I've been spending more time with Mason, and the thing is, Mason doesn't drive. He doesn't have a car, but he had to go into work today. I'm like, dude, I'll roll with you. Got to go downtown. I'll roll with you downtown. And he's like. It's like, nah. And actually, when he met me over at Osbar, I'm like, hey, we can, when it was a little after 11, I'm like, you know what, we should get going, because otherwise we're going to be stranded with the public transit. I'm like, I'm not doing public transit. I'm like, well, you too fucking cool to ride the bus and the train? And he basically said he was. It's like, I can get a lift. And I don't know if we used Lyft or Uber. It's all the same fucking shit. But I will tell you this: the person who drove us from Osbar to his place creeped me the fuck out. Like, just being driven by a creepy-ass fucking stranger. Like, I feel a little less creepy when it's in a taxi, because at least there's a taxi meter in a marked taxi. But I'm just in some fucking rando's car. And don't even get me started on the fucking rape and assault statistics between drivers and passengers in Lyft and Uber. It's disturbing as fuck. Yeah, I've had so many disturbing rideshare experiences. I just absolutely detest rideshare, and let's not forget what rideshare did to the taxi industry. I'm a guy that was a cab driver for damn near 20 years. Yeah, I just don't want to support a business that is predatory, takes advantage of its drivers, takes advantage of its passengers, and basically destroyed an industry that was my livelihood for damn near 2 decades. I just can't get behind that. I'm not cool with that. But other people can't bear the thought of riding with the nasty homeless people in public transit. And as I told Mason, it's like, public transit's not going to get good until enough people use it and demand that it gets good. Say, well, I'm not going to use it because it sucks. Like, that's why it sucks. It's a catch-22 thing. Like, you live, and the kicker with him is like, dude, you work downtown. You live in semi-central Phoenix, and you work downtown. You don't have a bad fucking bus commute. You have a very workable commute. So how do you get there? I said, well, you can walk to 24th Street and take that to the light rail. I said, you're a little bit closer to 32nd Street. I said, but 32nd Street doesn't directly connect to the light rail. I said, but you can take 32nd Street to the Route 3. That's not bad. It's like, ooh, Route 3, that's Van Buren. I'm like, yeah, some quality people watching on that bus. But yeah, heaven forbid he do that. Which is funny, like, and he's like, well, I can't afford a car. Well, maybe you could afford a car if you weren't spending fucking what percentage of your paychecks on fucking rideshare every month? No wonder you can't afford a car. You're fucking pissing all your money away to have creepy-ass strangers drive you around in vehicles that aren't even properly fucking registered and insured as commercial vehicles. Why are you going to support that machine? But, it's his life. He's going to do what he does. But anyway, I'm not trying to do that. I'd rather fucking walk. Anyway, damn, I'm going in 42 minutes. I need to shut the fuck up and go get my burrito. Thanks for coming with me on this stupid walk.